Alright, back to talk about Love Island USA, and I have a lot to talk about tonight because I have these people's astrology signs, and anybody that's watched any of my other videos for cast assessments, I like to bring up astrology signs. We're going to see if any of these couples are actually have any compatibility with astrology. I also have some real life tea on Isaiah, who unfortunately is one of the Pisces. The Pisces are a mess. The Pisces are not doing me any favor here to talk about these astrology signs, but we're gonna have to do it. But let's talk about episode 2 first, because we have 2 episodes to catch up on. So we have the 2 new girls coming out here, Valerie and Maddie. Maddie, another basic, boring blonde type, and then Valerie comes out here, and I was like, "Wait a minute, is that Robin Cass?" That's not a good thing for anybody that watches both Big Brother and Love Island. Robin Cass used to be the casting director of Big Brother. She still casts Big Brother Canada. I thought maybe she finally gave up casting because she sucks at it, and actually got herself cast on a show. But no, it's not her. Valerie and Maddie went on their date with Jesse and Felipe. I thought it was very convenient that the Texan and the Costa Rican went on the date with those two. Very convenient because Jesse's also from Texas. And Valerie was at least acting like she spoke Brazilian, or at least some of it. She's from Costa Rica. Anyway, we're going to talk about Jesse here because I said in the first video after episode 1 that I thought there was something about Jesse that I didn't like. And when I'm right because Jesse is fake as fuck, and there's nothing but air between his ears. He's pretty dumb. Every time he talks, I need you all to listen to Jesse talking if you haven't caught on. He says a whole lot of nothing. And now after these 2 episodes, we see that he, I guess, wants to be a player. I don't know. He's playing 2 of the women. He's telling people different things. Jesse just very fake. Jesse's a Taurus, so he has that chill energy. Of course, the vibe is like very agreeable. He just says yeah a lot. But outside of that chill factor, he is very fake and dumb. Maddie, meanwhile, connected with Andy. Andy was the mama's boy in that first episode that Courtney was coupled up with and didn't like. So Courtney not sad about losing Andy to Maddie. I don't hate this couple of Maddie and Andy, but let's be honest, they're gonna be boring. They're pretty boring so far. In the end, it was the 2 new girls got to couple up with 2 of the guys, and of course Maddie picked Andy. And then Valerie surprised people when she chose Jesse away from Deb. We also found out earlier in that episode during one of the challenges that Jesse had cheated before. Deb didn't like that, but Deb's still into Jesse. Jesse's into Deb because he loves him some blondes. And but now Jesse has been chosen by Valerie. Valerie thought they had a connection in their talk together. But I don't know how, because like I said, Jesse says a whole lot of nothing in these chats. At least that what we're seeing in the edit. He says a whole lot of nothing, so I don't really understand what the hell she got out of those conversations. But it was funny because Isaiah seemed to think that she was going to choose him. And so Isaiah started talking about red flags that he saw in Sydney, who he is coupled up with. And so, turns out, I know somebody in real life who knows somebody from the show, and it turned out to be Isaiah. And this girl had apparently we're going to call it a fling. This girl had a fling with Isaiah. They had a fling, and apparently he kind of did the same thing in real life that he was doing to Sydney about there being this red flag, and that's why they weren't going to work out, because he saw a bunch of red flags in her. And they had hooked up a couple times or whatever. But it turned out this whole time he had a girlfriend. So it seemed like this might be his excuse of He's just not that into you. And that's the excuse he was using here on Sydney. So I think Isaiah in real life, I guess maybe a douchebag. The show casted all of the men outside of, I guess, Timmy and Andy are douchebags, of course. They're not bringing a lot to the table other than unlikability. Isaiah's been very unlikable in these conversations with Sydney. Very weird the way he was going about it, bringing up the red flags. And then his excuses, he was bringing it up because he actually likes her. No, he's bringing it up because he thought that the new girl was going to choose him. And then it's pretty hilarious that she didn't. So, yeah, Isaiah, Jesse, both of them douchebags so far. But let's talk about their astrology signs, shall we? There's a lot of Gemini energy in this house, so that could get messy. Even though two of the Geminis, honestly, the Geminis, and this is shocking to me, the Geminis are the people I kind of like the most, to be honest. It's Timmy and Zeta, who are coupled up. They have been the most, the couple that vibes, like I talked about in the first episode, and they've been vibing all 3 episodes. I mean, during the challenge in episode 3, there was kind of like the questions of truth and dare to like make them, I guess, doubt each other, because Timmy said if he wasn't with Zeta, he would couple up with, I think it was a Maddie? I don't know. And then Zeta had the whole dare to lick whipped cream off of whoever. I don't even remember who it was. I think it was Isaiah. I get Isaiah and Andy mixed up because they kind of look alike. But the other Gemini is Felipe, who is coupled up with Serenity, but Serenity's talking about how they're basically just friends. Serenity isn't really opening herself up much to anyone. I don't know why that is. I don't know if she's going to find herself coupled up with anyone here soon. Serenity could be one of the first ones out. I don't like that Deb and Serenity are the 2 people on the outs, even though I think Jesse will pick Deb over the new girl, Valerie. But Serenity needs to start playing the game or something, because she's getting left behind. She's coupled up with Felipe. The vibes aren't there. There's just more of a friendship vibe. Serenity is the other Pisces outside of Isaiah. So both the Pisces, we have Isaiah, who uses excuses to get out of things. He's also like the youngest on the cast, so I'm just going to blame it on him being a March Pisces because they're trash. And then Serenity is also a Pisces who, I don't know why she's not opening herself up, but she's not, and she's clearly getting left behind in the game. So hopefully she gets it together, because I don't know what she's doing. Andy and Jesse are Tauruses. Deb is also a Taurus. I like Deb. I mean, I like Andy too, even though he's boring, but I don't have nothing to hate about him. But Jesse, as I've already discussed, he's clearly a player playing the 2 women. He told Zeta that there was another person in the house he had eyes on. He was more attracted to Deb. He loves his blondes than he is to Valerie. But then he talks to Valerie about how there's nobody in the house who he actually has his eyes on other than her. And then during the game where he's dared to kiss all the women, he says that Deb is the best kisser. And of course Valerie's right there. So I guess already being maybe caught in his lies. I don't know. Jesse's a mess. Sydney, I don't know if Sydney's a Sagittarius or a Libra. I wasn't able to get clarity on that. I'm going to say she's a Libra because she was stirring the pot during that Truth or Dare game and getting everybody to do all these other things to other people because she's not very happy in her little coupling with Isaiah because he was being a douchebag. But, I appreciate Sydney stirring the pot. That's why I think she's a Libra. Courtney is a Sagittarius. I can kind of see it. She's definitely a fire sign. She knows what she wants, and she's kind of the aggressor in getting there now with Felipe. She's into Felipe. Although it's his fault because Felipe always chooses her in these challenges, which she's noticed. So that's probably where that's going to go, and that's probably why Serenity is going to get left behind. I guess Maddie's also a Gemini. Yeah, I mean, this is really... No, we got 2 episodes of Maddie, and I feel like I know nothing about her because she's that boring, so I don't really know what else to say. And then Valerie is a Capricorn, so... You know, she has that drive too. She talked about it when they talked about astrology for a short while. And I think that's maybe why she has that connection to Jesse. They're 2 earth signs, the Capricorn and the Taurus, who you think would be compatible if we're talking astrology. But Jesse's such an asshole of a guy that he's playing her. Maybe that's why we're going to blame astrology here. Maybe that's why Valerie thought she was vibing with Jesse, because I don't really understand what other reason she was, because in those conversations with Jesse, he says nothing. So I don't really understand why Valerie was vibing with him in the first place. So it's a good excuse to blame astrology, because that's the only thing that makes sense. Let's check the other couples. Well, Serenity and Felipe are already friend-zoning each other, but that was a Gemini and Pisces connection. It's probably best for both of them to do that. There's Zeta and Timmy, like I talked about. They're both Gemini, so maybe their many personalities can be compatible with each other. I'm sure they could find one of their Gemini personalities to be compatible with each other, and that is why, so far, they're the only stable couple. 2 Geminis. Who would have thunk? There is Sydney and Isaiah, the Pisces and the Libra. Yeah, that's not going to work. That's why that's not working already. I can tell you that much. And then there is Maddie and Andy, the Taurus and the Gemini. I mean, astrology-wise, that doesn't sound like it would fit that great to me. But honestly, they're both so boring that they seem very compatible on the show to me. So maybe they actually are compatible outside of astrology. But that's all I have to dish on Love Island USA today. I wanted to bring that Isaiah thing up because I was shocked when I found out about it. So we just so y'all know, the tea I heard is that in real life, Isaiah uses that red flag excuse when he's having a fling with someone else when he is already in a relationship. So yeah, the Pisces are letting me down. But I hope Serenity gets it together because I don't want her to leave. I like Serenity, Deb, and Zeta, and Sydney the most out of the women. Most of the guys are trash. That's all for Love Island episode 2 and 3.